Yes, we need to get rid of factory farming. It's a completely pointless activity that is hurting the environment, the animals, and us.
Do you think people are actually confused that what this is?
Yes.
Isn't that?
Yes, because a lot of people who come here don't look into these farms. They don't make relationships with them.
That's important, right? And that's important, right?
Yeah, it is.
Well, now we're making people do that?
Well, no, what I'm saying is if you're really against factory farming, go stand in front of the places that support factory farming. This place does not support factory farming, so why are you standing here doing this? There's a lot of other places you could be. If I were a farmer and you guys came up across my land and set up, I'd tell you to get the hell off my land.
We're against animal cruelty, animal exploitation. It's disgusting and indefensible. Look what it is. Look at the suffering that goes on. You can live in a fantasy world where this ethical farming exists. It doesn't. We expose
I've seen
this.
An animal slaughtered.
So have I.
Yeah, humanely. And I thought it would really bother me, and it didn't.
Oh, we're not.
It's actually a very spiritual, intense experience.
Is this spiritual? What we're doing?
No, it's not.
Okay. Because so what you're doing is separate from this, at least you can admit. What we're showing this to stretch, to make that stress and get offended.
Have already made that choice, whether they're mindless and just coming here to enjoy the market, or they're a person like me who's already made the choice. I don't support that. Come in here. You don't need to tell these people that.
We educate people all the time, constantly, every time we set this up.
But can I ask you why you're choosing to do it here?
Well, we could do it anywhere.
Then why don't you do it anywhere, but at a place that supports ethical, regenerative farming?
Well, we don't feel that's ethical, but we can disagree on that. But we're not disagreeing on how this is inhumane. There's no disagreement there. Nobody thinks this is humane.
I'm sorry, but shame on you for putting pressure on these hard-working Albertans who feed their families and feed my family and are nothing but hard-working Albertans who do good things for our community.
You
know, I would support you more if you're standing in front of a superstore or a Sobeys.
That's such drivel. Oh my God.
Actually. Oh, but you're allowed to. So you're allowed to do that here. Yep, that's fine. But you know, you could go stand over there.
We do. We rotate.
You know,
we spread it around because we're trying to spread veganism around.
So we're the bad people.
People don't want to be vegan.
How do you know? Did you ask them?
Because they're choosing to spend more money with a different farmer than a grocery store. They're choosing to buy eggs that are $2 to $3 more expensive than a grocery store.
We're trying to tell you that these animals want to live. That's the point.
Everything dies. So
that's a justification for murdering and slaughtering animals?
No, it's not. But what I'm saying is if an animal lives a full life, and
if they don't, though, that's the point. These are all babies that are dying.
Not those animals.
They are all babies. They do not live a full life. You go in there and ask me how old
What's the natural life of a cow?
21 years, 22 years.
22 years, yeah.
I know. When are they slaughtered?
I know of
when are they slaughtered?
I know of a farm that slaughters when they're 15.
So? We're not talking about that farm.
And I'm sorry, no, you don't. You don't. I'm sorry, you don't.
Yes,
you just
don't.
don't.
A farm that provides for their own.
Okay, what about in there? Do they slaughter when they're 15?
They slaughter when they're 3. I've looked at
dairy cows. Beef cows. 6 months. What about all the other animal
I only support.
We're not talking about all of these guys. Some of them do.
I don't support that. That's why I choose to pay more.
We're talking about.
Yes, and I think it's disgraceful that you're doing it in front of a place.
But you just changed the reasoning again. You're all over the place.
No, I'm not.
You flip it as soon as you make a point. You flip it on that you're not doing that. But you're talking.
I'm not supporting factory farming.
We're not talking about you. We're talking. You brought up how you're offended that we are.
Yes, I'm offended.
Okay, so stop bringing you up. Stop bringing you up. We're educating people that contribute to this, or at least contribute to arguably inhumane farming that goes on in there. And we're
saying they do inhumane farming.
When are they murdered? Again, now we're looping it again because you derail the debate.
So you guys go out into the forest and lecture the bear.
Why are we talking about a bear now? Why are we talking about a bear?
Murdering animals, those horrible savage beasts.
You're picking.
Get rid of them all. What is that? What is this? Another justification?
Why are you bringing up a bear?
You just said it's murdering of animals is unethical. So we should go out and get rid of all the animals who murder other animals.
Can you go out and murder animals yourself? Can you go out there and do it yourself?
Yes, I have.
No, with your bare hands. Can you bare hands and kill a bear. Exactly. It's not you. A bear would kill another animal because that's what they do. We are not supposed to be killing animals.
Based on what knowledge? Based on what? Based on this?
Those are canines, not fangs.
But they're canines.
You cannot mean that we're not. Take your mouth and go into a bear and eat it.
Okay, here we go.
Joe, can you open up
Can
your
you
mouth?
explain this tooth to me then if we're full?
It's a canine.
So that means that we
It's not a
meet
fang.
Yes.
It's used for chewing. Your jaw goes side to side. It does not go.
If we were meant to eat purely plant, go look at a cow. Look at their teeth. Do they have a tooth like this? No, because they're only meant to eat plants.
Because they eat plants, exactly. So are you.
Why do we have a tooth like?
What about a gorilla? What about a gorilla? You've heard of a gorilla?
Yes.
Or a hippopotamus?
It's the heat of apple to chew into hard
However,
substance.
And have you seen a wolf's or a bear's canine? They're like this big.
yes, but we also have. If we
I know.
were meant to purely eat plants, we wouldn't have that tooth.
It's barely pokey. It's barely jagged.
But we're not blunt-toothed animals. We're not meant to chew on cud. Do you have 3 stomachs? No, you don't. I don't either.
Does a gorilla have 3 stomachs? Okay, so
Well, I'm not.
you have to understand. You have to back up. You have to back up.
In touch with the details of a gorilla's physiology and what is different about their stomach acid than ours, and what is different about their liver than ours, and all these differences.
Are you?
Even though they're mad. No, I'm not. But I'm prepared to tell you. I know a lot about cows, and I know we're not designed to chew on cud because we don't have 3 stomachs, and we don't have the ability to break down chlorophyll and cellulose like a cow or a goat or another plant-eating animal. We have different biochemistry. We have hydrochloric acid in our stomachs. You don't have much, but I do.
No, you're grabbing at everything you can to justify your point. You got to back up.
I've been living.
We're in a bear. We're talking about these farmers. We're talking about your experience. It's impossible to contain your debate and actually have an intelligent debate on one thing and come to conclude it. We're talking about, when we were talking about vegan money and the power of our vegan corporations, it was impossible to contain you from grabbing out everything you can to just fill up dead air with some point you're trying to make. It had nothing to do with what we're talking about.
But I think I've made a lot of pretty good points. We've talked about retinol, we've talked about cerebral palsy, we've talked about regenerative agriculture, we've talked about the difference between milking and forced milking. We've talked about, we have very different beliefs about where we came from as human beings. We've talked about how, what actually the biggest question I have for you is, what authority tells you that it is abhorrible to kill animals for food? What authority do you go off of with that idea?
A sentient being with nerve endings for pain and chemical reactions for fear and stress. Exactly the same one that causes me not to kill a human, or not to cause pain to a human or assault a human.
Okay, but now there are cannibals, let's not dispute that, but do you agree that in the majority of humans killing humans, we're not doing that for food, are we?
Okay, well, humor me and pretend you agree with me about the dietary, optimizing your diet on a vegan diet.
Sure.
Pretend you can.
I can.
What would be the reason to do this?
There is no reason.
Exactly. It's pure gluttony and greed and momentary surface pleasure. So that's where I land.
Okay, can I to that point, can I say in that, like, that's horrible, but can I say, then what is the point of, for example, this family in Ontario who are just regular people, they're not celebrities, they're not rich, they're just regular people who have literally dedicated their whole life, hard time, hard work, sweat, blood, tears, to raising animals and running a farm in a way that is based on our ancestral roots.
To make money off gluttony and greed.
No, not to make money, to provide food for their family and not have to go to a grocery store for anything. No, can I ask you, if cannot both exist? You being vegan and this family caring for those those animals and knowing them more intimately than you will ever know them because of how they raise them and sovereign, take care of them.
But you just said there's no reason to do it if you don't need it for nutritional value. Okay, what would be the reason to do ethical farming if you don't need it for nutritional value?
But you do need it for nutritional value.
Okay, but we just concluded that in this scenario, you agree with me on that.
Okay, I'll agree with you on that.
So there you go. That's the authority. That's the authority that you agree with me. If you agree that there was no...
with you for a conversation. Separate from that, the fact is, it's not enough nutrition.
So if it was, you'd be vegan then?
If human beings had been eating like that for the last 20,000 years,
if you
probably.
can, okay, now we agree. If you could optimize your diet on a vegan diet and not be deficient in any way, you would be a vegan.
Yes, but I can't do that.
Okay.
It's not possible, and it's way more expensive than just...
Oh, so gluttony and cheapness?
No, it's not about cheapness.
Okay, but you said it's expensive. You just said it was too expensive.
To get... Do you know how much beef... Like, there's so much you would have... Oh, sorry, if I'm a vegan, I can't even have honey. Because that's stealing from the bees. At the end of the day, sir, you can go ahead, if that were the way it really was, we wouldn't have any farms. We wouldn't have been drinking milk and eating eggs and eating meat for thousands upon thousands of years. You go to, and this is why, look into Weston A. Price, because I did finish telling you what he researched.
So we're back on the nutrition thing.
Yes. Him and his wife spent 20 years going around the world and visiting Aboriginal tribes that live separate from society and have been for thousands of years. And he expected to find them malnourished, weak, with bad teeth and bad hair and dull skin and problems. But what he found was the exact opposite. These people are thriving. They have straight, beautiful teeth.
Yes, obviously.
Beautiful skin, silky hair. Yes. Beautiful. They barely have issues with cancer or anything like this. And what are they eating? Well, they're eating fish heads. They're eating liver from animals they kill. They're drinking their blood. They're milking them. They're mixing milk and blood together and eating that. And you think it's crazy, but these people are healthier than we'll ever be.
I know. Okay, but then I don't know this exact study. And in general, their diet is 90% vegan, 99% vegan.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, not the Maasai tribes in Africa. The tribes that live on the islands or on the coast.
So you admit if you could optimize your vegan diet, then you would be vegan.
Yep, but I can't.
Okay, well there you go. So now you get exactly where I stand. I believe you can optimize your vegan diet. Me and hundreds of thousands of specialists.
And you know, I really understand where you guys are coming from, and I do support, because this is worse than a horror movie to me. I can't, to be honest, if I watched it for too long, I'd start crying. Yeah. Well, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's why we're here, because I'm desensitized to it at this point, just because I wanted to educate myself as much as possible and appeal to people and really figure out how to spread this message, so I've become desensitized to it. But yeah, that's why we're here, man, because it's indefensibly cruel. We agree on that, yeah.
Well, I would support you guys moving a lot more if you didn't push your vegan diet on people, but I do support this. And I appreciate the time, and please look into Weston A. Price. It's fascinating research, just if you want an interesting read.
I love being proven wrong. I will try. That's how you do it. You research in a way that you try to prove yourself wrong.
And I just want to let you know, as much as you think I go all over the place, that's just the way I think. I connect like a web, and I've been proven wrong many times, and I've had to swallow a lot of humble pie. Yeah. And I don't mind being proven wrong. I welcome it. That's how you grow.
Right on.
So you guys have a great day.
You too.
Stay warm out here, and maybe I'll see you again.
Okay, right on.
We'll have another good chat.
Right on. Take care.
Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fight back?